Blog Talk Radio.
Across the country and around the world, streaming live on the internet, it's Real Estate Coaching Radio, bringing you the latest news, interviews, and secrets of the top producers. Hosted by award-winning real estate coaches, Tim and Julie Harris.
And welcome back to Real Estate Coaching Radio. And of course, I am Tim Harris, and my lovely wife, Julie Harris, is my co-host. Julie, you are on, yes?
I am indeed. Thank you.
And this is your unfiltered, full-strength source for honesty about what is truly working to get you into action and make money in this new real estate recovery. And I'm going to say this every day. I'm making no apologies for it because it is really my mission to get it clear in everyone's head. We're at the very beginning stages of what will be and what already is a 7 to 10 year real estate boom. Will it end in a bubble bursting? No, it will not. But will it end in a lot of you becoming very wealthy, provided you've taken the right actions along the way? I hope so. So if Julie and I sound a little bit more tired today than we do, it's because we were up last night with our beautiful little baby girl, Zoe Grace, who had developed a little cold overnight. So if we seem to be dragging a little bit, there's our excuse.
Exactly.
So what Julie and I are going to be talking about today, and we took some great notes before the call, are the 4 deadly career-ending mistakes. But while Julie and I were reviewing today's radio show, we actually made it 5. So you get a bonus thing to avoid. So before I get to today's topic, Julie, any interesting stories from your coaching schedule? I know you've been working all day as well as I.
Well, probably the thing that I'm most excited about is that ice cream truck idea that Colette has. And I was also thinking about one of my Las Vegas agents should be doing the same thing because, I mean, what makes people happier than just hearing a traditional ice cream truck driving through the neighborhood on a hot summer day? And
well,
who's
Jules,
providing
the
ice cream? Your neighborhood
our
agent.
listeners,
Isn't that awesome?
Our listeners need to hear the whole idea, right? So tell them the whole idea.
Sure. Okay. Well, so this came from one of my coaching clients was thinking on this new open house she has. How can she make a big deal of it? It actually is a great, beautiful house, but it's on a little bit of a busy road. So she was thinking, well, how can we turn a negative thing into a positive thing and make this a really great open house? And she happened to connect with somebody that owns an ice cream truck. She made a deal with him for coming to the open house and passing out the ice cream and making it a really fun thing. She's going to have people come into the open house, give them a ticket for free ice cream. So that'll have them coming and going constantly, a nice, happy thing. So that idea turned into, well, what if you had your own ice cream truck with your own logo and marketing and advertising and your own ice cream and private labeled this and that? I mean, it's not actually that expensive of an idea to launch. And she's in a relatively hot market in terms of weather as well as what's happening in her real estate market. So this is going to turn into probably 2 or 3 trucks in the different areas that she markets to and already has listings in. And we were talking about the idea of multiple spokes or multiple streams of business. And, you know, this listing came from a combination of things. They saw her, she had some good testimonials online. They saw her signs in the neighborhood. They'd been to an open house of hers, and I think there's a 4th connection. So this is under the umbrella of tightening her hold on 4 or 5 of her particular neighborhoods, and she's really starting to get a great grip there. So I'm excited about that.
Well, it is a killer idea because, you know, as Julie just said, maybe you could just hire in someone with an ice cream truck to drive
Certainly
around the neighborhood.
Yeah, you don't
know,
have to go by your own. It's just a thought.
Right, and then give out, you know, ice cream to all the local kids and do it on weekends when there's going to be a lot of people home, and maybe even have Colette be in the ice cream truck and, you know, hand out the ice cream herself, or as Julie said, have maybe a magnet on the side or have special labels made. I know a lot of other coaching clients, Julie, that are specializing and focused in markets like that. You know, a lot of times, guys, these ideas work really great if you're working in like a gated community or an area of town that's kind of distinct on itself. Well, how about water bottles with your label on them? If you guys go on Google and you Google for, you know, personalized water bottles, there's tons and tons of companies that will do just that. So you can actually have your logo, essentially, or at least your name and your contact information, which is really all you need, put on water bottles, and you could have the same thing. You could have people, you know, you can hand out water bottles everywhere. You can leave water bottles at I have a coaching client, several actually now in Palm Desert, and that in that market in the summer, let me tell you guys, it's hot like you've never experienced before. It's pass out dead hot there.
Yes,
so driving
exactly.
around with water bottles, constantly giving out water bottles is a great idea. Having them at your insurance company's office, having them everywhere where people might be frequenting, and you are going to have, these are just little nice ideas that you can do along the way. These are certainly never going to, as Julie's making it really clear, they're not replacing the actual work that you have to do, but they're reinforcing. They're reinforcing.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, we were talking about, using it in a parade, and, maybe Halloween she's going to drive around and give out some little gourds or pumpkins or something cute, 4th of July you can, hand out candy or what have you.
Well, 4th of July, another great idea is to pass, well, obviously you want to try to get in these are just the fun things, right? So you can get in the local parade, and you can pass out flags that have your information on the flag. Or you can go hire the local Girl Scout troop, make a donation to the Girl Scout troop, and then go door to door and ask if it's okay to put a flag in people's front yards and say the flags are sponsored by, Tim and Julie Harris, that kind of thing. Guys, in the summer, people are outside. Yeah, and you will make contacts, and you will reinforce the other work you're doing. So these are great ideas. They're fun ideas. And, Julie, that one of the reasons I like ideas like this the most is because it gets you into action, right? I mean, you're working on something you're going to be really excited about it, and so you're going to be telling a lot of people about it, and you are talking about your, your charity that you're providing. Like, we've shared with you on this radio show previously how in October when we sold real estate in New Albany, Ohio, we used to we'd sell pumpkins, donate the proceeds. We'd basically take some space at the local elementary school. The principal would allow us to use the parking lot. We'd call the American Red Cross. The American Red Cross would be doing a blood drive in tandem with our pumpkin sale. The proceeds of the pumpkin patch, it was, I forget what we called it. What was it called, Julie?
Like Pumpkin Palooza or something. I can't remember exactly.
Something like
Pumpkin
that.
Fest. It was Pumpkin Fest. Yeah.
And we involved the Red Cross without knowing this originally, but it sure worked out. The Red Cross will then get the local press involved. So we would do this pumpkin thing, and, we originally just did it in our front yard for the neighborhood kids, but then it really started to expand and became something really quite huge. And we have, we moved out of Columbus and haven't sold real estate for well over a decade now, and we still get questions about that from our friends and our neighbors that we still are in contact with all these years later because they loved it because it was such a nice little homey thing. Anyway, guys, the point is yes, participate in your community. Don't be a secret agent. Really get the word out there and, give back, contribute, have fun. So today's topic, maybe a little bit more serious-minded given what we just talked about, will be the 4 or 5 deadly career-ending mistakes, and we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, get ready to take notes, and you need to be asking yourself if you're guilty of making any of these mistakes. We'll be back in about a minute. Well, I thought we would. Julie, are you there?
We're back faster.
Yeah, my page is taking too long to load. That's all right. Hopefully it won't jump in and give me the commercial. Hey, Tim, if you're listening, can you go ahead and run the Rochelle ad? If not, we're just going to keep on going. I think that's what we're going to do. All right, so you know what? The radio ad's not running, so let's do this. Oh, there it is.
Is coaching right for you? And how can I guarantee it will work for me? Chances are you are asking yourself those questions right now. I'll answer those critical questions for you in just a moment. But first, let's be honest about something you may have always suspected. You've probably always known that the nation's top 1% of realtors, those millionaire agents you see on TV, they possess a secret knowledge that the other 99% of agents do not have. Where did they learn what they know? And more importantly, how did they learn how to put this closely guarded information into money-making action? It's simple. They have a coach. Not just any coach. The nation's mega millions, top 1% of the realtors know that in order to maintain their almost unfair advantage, that they must have their own personal coach. A proven, market-tested coach who has truly walked in their shoes. a coach who has worked with many of the nation's leading agents. At this point, you're probably ready to maybe try coaching. However, you don't want to be unfairly locked into a long-term ball and chain that coaching contracts can give you. It just makes sense that you should be able to try it before you buy it. Even more importantly, you want to have a coach who is the best of the best, not someone who is simply assigned to you or, even worse, has never sold real estate. Can you imagine? If this is you, I have something for you right now that is exactly what you have been looking for. For the next 48 hours, Tim and Julie Harris Real Estate Coaching is offering you a free coaching call. This is a real coaching call with a real Tim and Julie Harris coach. Now, while you are thinking about it, why don't you visit us online at freecoachingcallsforagents.com to get started. Once again, that is freecoachingcallsforagents.com. Now, let's be clear. This exclusive coaching opportunity is only available for the first 50 realtors who are stone cold serious about their real estate business and know that in order to succeed at the highest level, they must hire a coach. So don't wait any longer. Take action now and visit us again at freecoachingcallsforagents.com to schedule your free coaching call. Again, that's freecoachingcallsforagents.com. Thanks so much. See y'all soon.
Okay, we are back. So we are going to go through these 5 points, and I want you to really take seriously the information we're sharing with you, because if you're not yet achieving the level of success that you're after, or more importantly, if you're not achieving the level of success you're after consistently, chances are it falls down to arguably these 5, and maybe there's a few other really key, easily made mistakes that a lot of agents make. Now, a lot of these are going to seem a little bit, I would say, basic, but the fact is if you hear me talk about a point and Julie talk about a point, and your automatic answer is, I'm not guilty of that, you probably are. So seriously, check yourself when I'm going through these points and listen and feel how you react. And again, if your initial reaction is, well, I'm definitely not guilty of that one, that is literally probably the one thing you need to be focusing on the most. So going through this, the number one reason that agents fail to attract business to them consistently is because their energy and enthusiasm sucks. It's terrible. Nobody will want to do business with you unless you have terrific energy and enthusiasm. I'm going to give you some suggestions on this. Sometimes we get into behavior patterns, speech patterns, way we dress, way we look, that sticks us in this sort of mindset of good enough. So when is the last time you, say, for example, bought new clothes? How do you feel about how you look right now? Do you need to lose some weight? How do you feel about how you communicate, how you enunciate, how you speak, how you actually relate to other people? If nothing else, energy and enthusiasm by itself will get you the listing or get you the buyer, because people are attracted to people who have energy and enthusiasm. Now, if you don't naturally have energy and enthusiasm, fake it, because what's going to happen is as you are feeling and acting more energetic and enthusiastic, your physical and mental and emotional state will follow. So another little key here is, if you don't remember the last time you had great energy and enthusiasm, if you can't stay in connection with how you, like the last time you really felt you were on top of the world, or maybe you never really have felt that about yourself, or maybe you're one of these people that says, well, I'm just not that kind of person, I'm introverted. Well, adopt a role model, and it can just be in your mind, of somebody who does have terrific energy and enthusiasm. Listen to how he or she speaks. Look how he or she walks, talks, presents themselves, and mimic them, copy them. Be the actor. Because, guys, if you think about this, energy and enthusiasm is the secret sauce for attracting business to you, because people want to do business with people that have great energy and enthusiasm. The next point that I wrote down was focus, and this is one of Julie's great things to talk about. Julie, what do I mean by focus? What does it stand for?
That's right. So focus stands for, F-O-C-U-S is how you spell that, follow one course until successful. And this is a major issue for quite a few agents. We call them samplers. They go from thing to thing to thing in the belief that this is the thing, right? This is the one thing that's going to just turn my career around. I'm going to just be raining with leads, and these are going to be easy, come list me type deals, No, it's not thing to thing to thing. Follow one course until successful. Become great at the things that do make you money in real estate: lead generation, lead follow-up, pre-qualifying, presenting, negotiating, and closing. Stick to the plan. Don't get distracted by that next email that comes through your pipeline and says, oh, my gosh, if you just, we used to see it during the distressed market because, all these people would email, I'll sign you up with all of the REO companies if you just give me $400. So I'll go do that. That'll save my day. And then the next email that comes and I go do something else. So don't be a sampler. Be someone who follows your focus. Follow one course until successful. Be great at the things in real estate that actually matter.
That's right. And that's, again, Julie's interesting point about the REO lists. I mean, how many of you are guilty of that? Well, here's another thought for you. Nowadays, look at all the really questionable things that are being marketed to agents. And what's really fascinating, to be honest with you, is having been in this industry now basically my whole entire adult life, and Julie and I are in our 40s, the fact that the fads, how faddish a lot of these gimmicky ideas are. And the biggest fads right now, and this is going to raise some eyebrows with some of you, are teams. That's a big fad right now. And buying buyer leads. That's the other big fad from, Zillow and Trulia and even, Realtor.com to a lesser extent. But they're all fads. They're just things that people are chasing, thinking that it's going to be their silver bullet that's going to save their bacon. Avoid the fads. Focus on following in the path of the footsteps of the folks that have walked before you. Look around the country. You find me a single top agent, someone who's been a top agent year in and year out for years, that has built their business based on fads. Listen to our superstar interviews. You'll never hear them talking about Facebook ads. You're never going to hear them about buying buyer leads from Zillow. You're never going to hear about all that gimmicky stuff that so many of you guys are attracted to. Those things come and they go. The one thing that doesn't come and go ever are the agents that know how to be listing agents. That's what we're here to do. For those of you who are recovering buying buyer agents who have spent thousands, in some cases tens of thousands of dollars buying buyer leads, and you're sick and tired of being on that hamster wheel, well, guess what? We'll show you how to be a listing agent. Next point I wrote down, Julie, skill. Skill or lack of skill is another thing a lot of agents lack. So Julie and I are watching.
I knew you were going to say that.
I know. Well, it's true, right?
That's exactly what popped in my mind
listing.
Too.
We're watching $1 Million Listing New York last night. It's one of our guilty pleasures. We don't have very many. And two of our superstars, as you guys know, all three of those guys on that show are our superstars. And, I'm watching the difference between somebody, without naming names, who has obviously taken the time to develop skill and the other person who hasn't. Now, a lot of you are great natural people. So people like you. You're good at maybe attracting folks to you. In some element about you makes it so that, people want to be around you. Probably 50 to 60% of you people are like that naturally. So you've taken for granted the business that you've attracted to you, thinking that's because you're good, thinking that it's because you have that something, because it's the way you present. So you understand the importance of energy and enthusiasm, but what happened is you just stopped there. So you've got great energy and enthusiasm, but you don't really have the skill to back it up. And your veneer does not show its cracks until you're in a competitive listing situation in most cases, until you're negotiating a contract, or until you're competing with another agent that does have skill. The skills that are necessary in this market, guys, are completely different than the skills that were in the market. Well, I shouldn't say completely different, but they're mostly different than certainly the skills that were necessary 5 years ago, let alone 15. So, Julie, what does skill mean to you?
Skill means that you have actually honed your craft to the point where I could drop you off at any house, any potential listing. Notice I'm saying listing, not work with buyers, because we all know working with buyers is easier. I can drop you off at any listing in any neighborhood in any price range, really even in any town in the country. and say, take the listing. And because you've worked on your skills, it doesn't matter whether you're competing. It doesn't matter who you're competing against. You've got it so together and so polished that there is no question that you will be taking the listing this evening. Okay, that's different than agents that say things like, well, I don't really need a pre-listing pack because I never have to compete. No, what that means is you've never had to use a pre-listing package because all the deals you do are with people who know you. See the difference?
Absolutely. Next up,
and that's
guys,
where we start to see this quite frequently is when we're building listing agents and some of them say, well, I'm not sure I need that because, I haven't had to compete or this or that. So what you're really saying is you haven't had to upgrade your skills yet. So what happens typically is those agents will then, for some of them, it takes having their butts kicked on a listing appointment and having the seller say some things, like you were never really in the running. I like you, you're a nice person, but the other agents I spoke with had so much more to offer, I had to go with one of them. And then they go, you know what, maybe I ought to do a pre-listing package and a listing presentation.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it? All right, so next I wrote down mindset. Now, mindset's that big black hole of a lot of BS. That's the truth, right? A lot of people say I'm going to work on my mindset. Here's the mindset that we like all of you guys to embrace. What is your mindset about this? I would almost call this a slogan, but what is your mindset about what I'm about to say to you? The key to success is working when you don't feel like working, maybe sometimes doing what you don't want to do at the highest level. In other words, the key to success is having the mindset of service, working, doing your job every single day, even when you don't feel like doing it, while achieving and working at the highest level. How do you feel about that comment? What's your mindset about working at the highest level, even when you don't feel like it? See, that's the real mindset issue that some of you have. Your mindset isn't lack of motivation. Your mindset is embracing the fact that the real true key to long-term success is doing what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it at the highest level. That is the key. So many of you wait to feel a certain way. You wait to feel motivated. You wait to feel, Julie and I are both tired today. Hopefully it's not too obvious because we didn't get much sleep last night because of Zoe. But the reality of it is we are doing in this very moment what we don't want to do when we don't want to do it because we'd both rather be sleeping at the highest level. That's me being honest with all of you. You guys are our friends. You're our family. You're our coaching students. A lot of you we've known for decades. I feel comfortable being honest with you. I feel comfortable being transparent with you. So the reality of it, guys, is the key is what is your mindset about? What is your thinking about doing what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it at the highest level? Check yourself on that. And the answer is, and if you're trying to self-discover the answer within yourself, look at your cash flow. Look at last time you got a paycheck. Do you have consistent income? If you have consistent income, you probably have a great mindset, but that great mindset came from what? It's being reinforced by the consistent income, but it came from you knowing that you had to do what you didn't want to do when you didn't want to do it at the highest level, and you did it. Probably 90, 120 days ago. That's the money you're earning now. 90 to 120 days from now, what you are doing right now is where your paychecks are going to be coming from. Get that in your head. Every single day you wake up and you focus on the 5 or 6 things that are going to get you paid in real estate, and you get them done no matter how you feel. That is what we mean by mindset. That's the mindset of rich people. The mindset of Liberty Gibbets are the folks that say, I'm looking for my why. Oh, did I tell you, Julie, I had a coaching call like that, a free coaching call?
Uh-oh.
Somebody actually, I was like, so they came to the coaching call and they said, Tim, I need your help to find my why. And here's what I said.
Oh, boy.
So let me ask you, how familiar are you with Julie and me? I listened to your radio show maybe once or twice, so you then don't really understand the fact that there is no ever finding your why, and the fact is that the reason that you're not essentially being more successful and the fact that you are not financially well off is because you've not yet embraced the idea that the key to long-term success is doing what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it at the highest level. The phone goes quiet. And then I ask what they've done to generate new business. And guys, some of you have an issue with thinking in terms of your business about making money. So you shift it, right? And that person in particular did. So I said, so what have you done in the past week specifically to put you in a position to be of service to others and help people in your real estate practice? Well, blah, 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 and then we put some time to that. So essentially in the last 5 working days, that person had spent probably a half hour actually putting themselves in a position to be of service to others in their real estate practice. I asked, so what else was going on? Well, I was doing this, and I didn't feel like that, and I woke up this way, and I didn't feel this, and then I had someone be mean to me, and da-da-da-da-da. So they had
just
all
didn't feel
these
like
normal,
doing it, basically.
Right. You guys see the difference? Hopefully you do. If not, request a free coaching call. Next thing I wrote down, and this is probably, well, not probably, this is the most important thing. And this ties to the previous point about, we called it mindset, but the reality of it is it's the mindset about working. The last point I wrote down, Julie, is our favorite point, action. So if you're not experiencing the career success that you want, and in many cases you can still obtain, it's because the actions that you're taking, not just action in general, though action in general, to be honest with you, just basically exploding every morning and taking action and doing a bunch of different things is a hell of a lot better than sitting around waiting around thinking that you have to maybe someday get started. So I'd rather have you take actions, even maybe misguided actions, provided they're ethical and legal, obviously, and not going to hurt anybody, versus no actions. But with that said, for those of you who are ready to become coaching students, you're going to learn the right actions to take. So taking the actions, doing what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it at the highest level is going to result in you having a very specific, distinct daily plan to follow that's usually going to involve 3 to 5 minimum standards every single day, and they're all going to be geared towards generating business, putting you in a position to be of service to others. That is always going to be our focus. That will never change. And then you take action. And then you take that action and you stay focused. Julie, remind me what that stands for?
Follow one course until successful.
That's right. And you're going to follow one course until successful, and you're going to take the actions, and you're not going to quit. You're not going to give up too soon. You're going to expect it to take longer than maybe you want it to. You're not going to listen to the people all around you who are, frankly, not willing to put in the effort and not willing to make and the word is sacrifice in order to accomplish their goals. Real estate is full of people that are just looking for silver bullets. They're looking for the get-rich-quick scheme. They won't come out and say it, but you can tell because they're the ones that are buying the buyer leads. They have not yet, and maybe never will, if I'm being honest, embraced the idea that true long-term success is doing what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it at the highest level. Have that as a tattoo, at least as a strong thought in your minds. Does this resonate with you guys? Is there anything we can be doing to help you? Please make the most of this new real estate boom. This is going to be the best 7 to 10 years. This is, going back to your mindset, this is going to be the best 7 to 10 years of your life. What if you were to make that your mantra? Between now and 7 to 10 years from now, this is going to be the best 7 to 10 years of your life. All the things that you've always wanted to do, all the experiences you've always wanted to have, everything happens now. Why not? Why not make that true for you? Guys, if there's anything we can be doing for you, obviously request a free coaching call. Just go to freecoachingcallsforagents.com. And I know Julie has a coaching call, and so do I. So we are going to jump off the radio show for today. And you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. And as always, if there's anything we can be doing to help you, what do? Go to freecoachingcallsforagents.com. Have a fantastic day.
This program has been a presentation by Tim and Julie Harris, Real Estate Coaching. For more information on our real estate coaching and training programs, visit our website at timandjulieharris.com. Remember to tune in weekdays at noon for upcoming shows. And until next time, thank you for listening to Real Estate Coaching Radio with Tim and Julie Harris.